All right, welcome back to the Buddy Dill Show. It is October the 5th. It is a Thursday. However, this is going to be the last show of the week. I will not be able to give another show tomorrow. So we're going to give a little rundown on what's going to happen this weekend. But first, we're going to start with the MLB, the Wild Card Series. All of them finished up last night. This is a rare time when Major League Baseball had the stage. There were no other big games on. There was a Jacksonville State and Middle Tennessee State last night, but that's not going to take precedence over the MLB. And they had the stage. And, I mean, I know they didn't do it on purpose, but all those games are over now because in the first one, the Rangers handled the Rays pretty easily, 7-1. The Rangers held the Rays to 1 run in 2 games. Nathan Eovaldi looked really good. He ended up with a win, went 6 2/3, gave up 6 hits, only 1 earned run, had 8 strikeouts and no walks. Following Jordan Montgomery's performance on Tuesday, that was pretty. That'll get the job done. You only giving up 1 run in 2 games, that's going to do it. Corey Seager had another good day. I told you to watch out for him. He proved me right. He went 2 for 4 with 2 doubles and an RBI. Also scored a run. Josh Young, as a rookie, had 3 hits. All of them were extra base hits. He had 2 doubles, a triple, had an RBI, and he also scored 2 runs. Zach Eflin took the loss for the Rays. He went 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, only 3 strikeouts, and he had 2 walks. The Rays just haven't figured it out how to win in the postseason. They are now, after making it to the World Series in 2020, I believe they've lost 6 straight postseason games, which is not ideal for a team where they have one of the best records in the league in the regular season. It sounds like they're the team that can win in the regular season but can't get it done in the postseason, and that's just not that doesn't work. You got to be able to get it done in the postseason when it matters. We're going to get to a team that's doing that right now that didn't necessarily get it done in the regular season, but they're getting it done in the postseason. We'll get to that in just a second. Second game of the day was the Blue Jays and the Twins. Twins held the Blue Jays to nothing. Sonny Gray was really, really good. He got the win. He went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, did not give up a run. He had 6 strikeouts and 2 walks. He had some really clutch situations. Him and Carlos Correa, I talked about how Carlos Correa has that playoff experience. Vlad Guerrero Jr. was getting a big lead off of second with a runner on second and third in the 5th inning. There were 2 outs. He was just trying to cheat and so that he could score on a base hit and tie the game up. Correa saw that. He told Sonny Gray, look, if I give you this signal, let's pick behind him. It's an easy out. And that's exactly what they did. They did it to perfection. They backpicked Vlad Guerrero Jr. on second, got him out, and that ended the inning, which was a great opportunity for the Blue Jays because they had Bo Bichette up, who had been swinging it well. But the Twins are going to walk away from this series with a 2-0 win. Toronto had opportunities. Like I said, that was one of them in the 5th. In the 6th, they grounded into a double play when they had the bases loaded. It's just, when it comes to the postseason, it's not necessarily about who's the best team, about who has the best hitters, about who has the best average in the regular season. It's about when you can get clutch hits, and the Blue Jays just weren't able to do that. One questionable move they made was they pulled Jose Barrios after he walked a guy to start the 4th inning. He only thrown 47 pitches and only allowed 1 run. He'd only given up 3 hits, had 5 strikeouts in 3 innings, and only 1 walk. That was his only walk. And for some reason, they pull him. And it really kind of went downhill there. And I don't really understand why. It reminded me a lot of when the Rays pulled Blake Snell in the 2020 World Series against the Dodgers really quickly. It doesn't make any sense. But that's one. That, on top of not being able to get the clutch hit, on top of Vlad Guerrero getting picked off at second, that's what the Blue Jays are going to have to think about the rest of this offseason because they are going home. In the NL, the Diamondbacks swept the Brewers 5-2. Zach Gallen was really good. He threw 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned, 4 strikeouts, and he had 3 walks, but he did get the win. Corbin Carroll, I've tried to tell you, he's the real deal. He's only a rookie, but he's really good. He was 2 for 4 with a double and a run. Alek Thomas really gave the Diamondbacks life again. They came from behind once again. Brewers jumped out to an early 2-0 lead. Then Alek Thomas hit a home run down the right field line to cut it to 1. And then after that, the Diamondbacks scored 4 runs in the next inning in the 6th to take the lead, and they didn't look back. Freddie Peralta, the starting pitcher for the Brewers, he took the loss, went 5 innings, gave up 3 hits. Only 3 hits, but he gave up 4 earned runs. Had 5 strikeouts and 2 walks. This just timely hitting. That's really all it is. That's what wins games in the postseason and what you lose games if you're not able to do it. Like I'm saying, the Brewers had the bases loaded in the 8th with 1 out. They had a great opportunity there, and they ended up going ground out to the pitcher that came home with it, and then they grounded to second, and they took a fielder's choice at second. That's just not going to get it done. They had 9 men left on base. That's also not going to get it done. They were okay when it came to batting average with the runners in scoring position, but that came early when they had scored their 2 runs. But after that, they didn't really do anything after that. The last NL wildcard matchup was the Marlins and the Phillies. I told you that this probably was going to be a sweep after the Phillies were able to win last night. They had Aaron Nola on the mound. Aaron Nola he followed Zach Wheeler's lead on Tuesday and really shut down the Marlins. He went 7 innings, so he gave up 3 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts, and a walk. He got the win. The Phillies did not allow a run until the 9th inning with 2 outs, actually. It was just a garbage run pretty much. Trey Turner went 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI. He's been magnificent for the Phillies. JT Realmuto went 2 for 4 with a home run and an RBI. He also had a double. And then Bryson Stott really put the game away. He hit a grand slam, and really that opened it up. That took it from 3-1 or 3-0 to 7-0, and that all but put the Marlins away and sent them packing. That's just the second grand slam in Phillies postseason history. They've had as many postseason games as they've had. That's just their second grand slam. So that means we're moving to the League Divisional Series. You got the ALDS and the NLDS. I believe that the ALDS will be on Fox or FS1, and the NLDS will be on TBS. The first matchup we're going to look at is the Rangers, who just beat the Rays, against the Orioles. So they went through one AL East opponent. Now they're going to have to go through another. The Orioles have the best record in the league this year. The Orioles have not been here. That's what is concerning. There's a young group. They're very talented, but it's a very young group. The Rangers haven't really been there either, but they have guys on their team that have. Max Scherzer will not be pitching this week, but him being on the bench is a big deal because he's been there, done that. He can help those young guys and the guys that haven't been through it and explain to them and help them get through all this. The Orioles don't have that really. Also, Felix Bautista is on the IL. That's a big loss for them. He is their go-to closer. I'm not really sure if he's going to be able to pitch any this postseason, but I don't believe he will be able to pitch in the ALDS. This is going to be a hard-fought series. I'm really interested to see this. This is 2 very talented teams. 2 teams that, as of a week ago, before the last day of the season, were the 1 and the 2 seeds in the AL. But the way that the Rangers finished and the Astros finished, that flipped them all the way to the 5th seed and the Astros to the 2. The other ALDS series is going to be those Astros and the Twins. They're going to host the Twins. All these series are best of 5. So they'll play 2 at the home team, the higher seed, 2 at the away seed, and then 1 back at home if necessary. The Twins just come off winning their first postseason series in 21 years, since 2002. The Astros are defending world champions. So this is kind of a David versus Goliath type thing. But I mean, maybe we can have a run here. I don't see it happening. The Twins just, in my opinion, don't have enough, but we'll see what happens. In the NLDS, these games are going to be starting on Saturday on TBS. Like I said, the ALDS are going to be on Fox or FS1. First game, this is the big one. This is the one that I think everybody's going to want to watch. These are going to be two electric crowds, no matter where, if it's in Atlanta or if it's in Philadelphia. These are two of the hottest teams in the league right now because Philly's really turned it on. These are divisional rivals in the NL East. The Phillies, you just saw what they did to the Marlins. The Phillies are hot at the right time. This is exactly what they did last year. They played the Braves last year in the NLDS in the same situation, and they walked away with a win. The Phillies and the Braves have only played each other in the postseason 3 times, and the Phillies have won each of the last 3. So this is going to be fun. This is arguably one of the best teams ever when it comes to the Braves. When you look strictly at numbers, this is one of the best teams of all time. And this is one of the hot teams in the Phillies who've made it all the way to the World Series last year, and that's where they want to be back. So this is going to be a fun one. I'm really excited to watch this. This is going to start on Saturday. That time is TBD right now. The Diamondbacks and the Dodgers is the last one. That's an NL West matchup, which is fun because you get divisional matchups, divisional rivalries in the NLDS with the Braves and the Phillies, and now the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. The only starting pitcher to be named at this point is for the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw is going to go on Saturday. We're not really sure what's going to happen with the Diamondbacks. They got a young group. The Dodgers are strictly veterans. That's what they have. Clayton Kershaw's been around the block. Mookie Betts. You have all different kinds of guys. I'm really interested to see if the Dodgers can get healthy on their pitching staff. There's a couple guys that may be able to come back, like Walker Buehler. I believe that he may try to make a comeback in the playoffs. He's not pitched all year, but I think he might be back for the postseason. This is going to be a fun divisional series. Like I said, best of 5. Those games on the ALDS are going to be on Fox or FS1, and the NLDS are going to be on TBS. So other than that, that's about all of the baseball for this week. We will cover up what happened this weekend on Monday. But let's get to the games to watch in football, starting with college football. First game, biggest game of the week, is going to be the Red River rivalry. That is going to be number 12 Oklahoma versus number 3 Texas. This game is going to be played at the Cotton Bowl Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Texas is currently favored by 6.5. This is a great opportunity for Texas because this is their one game they have against an undefeated opponent. Oklahoma is right there too. This game is always fun. It's usually a lot of points being scored. Both of these teams are undefeated for the first time, maybe ever, but for a long time. That game is going to be at 11 a.m. Central Time on ABC. That's always, like I said, it's always a fun one. It's a rivalry game, and we'll see what happens there. I think Texas is going to pull it out. I don't think they're going to be able to cover the points, but I think they pull it out. The next game to watch is Maryland at Ohio State. So Maryland is undefeated right now. They're 5-0, and Ohio State's 4-0. And I was talking to my good friend Collins on my other podcast, Get to the Point with Buddy and Seabear, so make sure to go listen to that. He was talking about how does it make sense that a 5-0 team is playing a 4-0 team, and that 4-0 team is getting 20 points or giving 20 points. It's because Ohio State has outscored Maryland by over 90 points in the last 3 matchups that they played in Columbus. Ohio State's is a much better team. I don't know if they get the 20, but they're going to win handily, in my opinion. That game is at 11 a.m. Central Time on Fox. That is their big noon kickoff game. In the SEC, you got the battle of the Tigers. Both of these are ranked teams. This is number 23 LSU at number 21 Missouri. This is a great opportunity for Missouri. LSU is favored by 5.5, and I see them winning by more than that. As much as a great opportunity is for Missouri, I think LSU is mad after the way that the game went last week. I don't think they're going to let that happen again. I think they'll for sure up their defense. I think their offense is going to still be clicking, and I think they'll win. That game is at 11 a.m. Central Time on ESPN. One of the games of the week in the SEC is the Crimson Tide of Alabama going to College Station and playing Texas A&M. So this line opened up at Alabama minus 2.5. Within 24 hours, it has dropped all the way to Alabama minus 1.5. This is a very interesting situation. This is really, it could determine the West late down the stretch. As wide open as the SEC West is, this is a big one in it. Alabama is undefeated in the SEC right now. Texas A&M is also undefeated in the SEC. Their only losses are to out of conference teams. So people are saying that this is A&M's chance. Personally, I don't see it. I just don't see A&M being good enough to beat Alabama. That game is going to be at 2:30 on CBS. This is going to be the battle of the East. I know Missouri's still there undefeated, but I don't think they're going to be undefeated after this week. This is going to determine the East. You got number 20 Kentucky at number 1 Georgia. That game's at 6 p.m. on ESPN. Georgia's favored by 15 for a reason. 15 is enough. I think that Georgia's going to win that one pretty handily, just because I think that they're just better. They survived a scare last week against Auburn, and they're going to use that to their advantage and be ready for Kentucky. Notre Dame is coming off of a good win against Duke. They're going to Louisville, number 25 Louisville. Notre Dame is favored by 6.5. This is going to be a fun one. That game's at 6:30 on ABC. And Louisville is a better team than a lot of people think, just because nobody's thought about them in a while. But Notre Dame is by far the much better team, and I'm going to go with Notre Dame on this one. So for your drunk game of the week, it's the same one that's drunk every single year. It is Arkansas at number 16 Ole Miss. If you know anything about this rivalry, you know that nothing is ever certain. You've had 7 overtime games. You've had games where a team converts a 4th and 25. You've had situations where a quarterback throws 6 interceptions and they still have a chance to win the game. You have a 53 to 52 win on a failed 2-point conversion. You have a blowout when one team's way better. You never know what's going to happen here. Ole Miss is somehow favored by 11.5. I think that's because the people in Vegas don't watch this game enough. This is going to be a dogfight to the end. I don't see any kind of situation where there's a blowout of any kind. I feel like this is going to come all the way down to the wire. That game is at 6:30 on the SEC network. Now going to the NFL, there's a couple of good games to watch. Thursday night football is not one of them. That is tonight, but this is not a game to watch, honestly. It's the Bears at the Commanders. That's at 7:15 on Amazon Prime. People make fun of the fact that Thursday night games are awful, and then they give you this. Of course they're going to think it's awful when it's the Bears and the Commanders. The Commanders aren't that bad, but just them playing the Bears is going to bring them down, especially on a Thursday night. Commanders are favored by 6 in that game. In the International Series, we're going back to London for the Jaguars. The Jaguars are playing the Bills. The Bills are the home team in this. I don't get it, because this is basically a home game for the Jags, since they just have stayed in London all week. The Bills are still favored by 5.5. That game is going to be at 8:30 a.m. on the NFL Network. That's going to be an early kick for all of us in America. The Bills are the better team, but watch out for the Jags. The Jags are good in London. This is going to be played at the Tottenham Spurs Stadium, which is a soccer team over there, if you didn't know that. But this is going to be a fun one. Watch the Jags for an upset here. The Bills are coming off of a big win against the Dolphins. The Jags might slip in there and take a win. On Sunday, the normal slate, we got a divisional rivalry, the Steelers and the Ravens. The Steelers are hosting the Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 4. That game's going to be at noon on CBS. This is going to be a fun one. The Steelers need a win, and Lamar Jackson is really starting to play well for the Ravens. The Eagles are traveling out west. They're going to go take on the Rams. The Eagles are favored by 4.5, and that game is at 3:05 Eastern, on Central Time on Fox. The Chiefs and the Vikings, that they're going to Minnesota to play this one. The Chiefs are favored by 4. This is a big game for the Vikings. They really kind of need an upset win of some kind. We'll see what happens there. The game's at 3:25 on CBS. Then the game of the week. You got the Cowboys at the 49ers. This is the team that's put the Cowboys out of the playoffs the last 2 years. And the 49ers are favored by 4. I think they're the better team. I think they come out with a win. That is a Sunday night game at 7:20 on NBC. Reminder, no show tomorrow. We will be back on Monday to get you recapped on what happened this weekend. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll see you back on Monday.